Why are these things costing so much lately? I think I have an idea. We're at that time of year again. Egg prices are skyrocketing. It seems like it happens every year, and that's because it does. And it might be because you've been hearing this kind of word, the bird flu or avian flu.
A big reason for these sky-high egg prices, the bird flu outbreak that started in 2022.
Over 100 million farm-raised birds. That's how many chickens, turkeys, and other poultry have died because of avian flu in the United States since 2022.
Let's talk about the bird flu for a bit. The numbers have been rising. They've been rising for months. It's got people worried about food safety, worried about egg prices.
Go grocery shopping. You don't need us to tell you that eggs are expensive and in some places in limited supply.
Some more details on the impact of the bird flu outbreak on the price of eggs.
I'm just not as convinced anymore that this is the one main reason why our egg prices are going through the roof right now and why everybody's making such a big deal about it. And if you own chickens like we do, then you might be feeling pretty lucky that you're getting your own eggs, so you don't have to worry about going to the store to buy these overpriced eggs that are about countrywide right now here in the United States. And I'll tell you what, we're starting to get egg production going up really high. This has definitely been the most that we've found in a nesting box this winter. So yeah, we're feeling pretty lucky to be able to get 5 of these eggs, which I know right now is about, what, $3 probably if you wanted to buy 5 eggs at the store. All over the news right now, the word bird flu, avian flu, however kind of form that you're seeing it in, that's what's being thrown on the news to explain why these egg prices are as outrageous as what they've been. And this almost seems like to some people always a new concept of, there's a bird flu going on. Like that's why the prices are this much. This has been happening last year. It happened the year before. It always happens around this time. And what this said is that the birds are migrating, so the bird flu starts to spread, which I believe there is truth to that. That is a reason of why there would be more of a spread of any kind of sicknesses of birds. The reason I don't like it is that if these birds that are in these egg factories are closed in, right, they're not doing what our chickens are doing behind me right now. These chickens aren't free ranging outside, having the migrating birds flowing above them like this. These chickens, the eggs that you're getting from the store, these chickens are in lockdown factories. They're not getting any sunlight. They're not being exposed to outdoors. It would be so hard for them to be able to transmit and actually get this bird flu. So then the argument I heard is, well, like it's because the workers, they come in, they might have that being on their shoes or anything, and that gets spread. And then it's the question, well, if that's the case, then how healthy and how taken care of are these birds in these factories that are supposed to be having healthy food for us, that are supposed to be making sure that they're looking out for our safety, making sure that we are safe with what we are buying from the store and being able to consume. The more and more that I look into it, the more and more I think this is just as simple as one thing: price gouging. And in a time where there are so many people hurting money-wise, whether it's finding a job, whether it's being able to afford housing, this is such an awful time for price gouging to happen on something as simple as eggs that we can get such an abundance of so easily. And because of that, it drives me a little crazy. And not only are they starting to think about this idea just for eggs, I started reading a few articles and I saw a thing that chicken meat might be the next thing. And that's what I actually fully don't even understand, is that why is it the next thing? Shouldn't it be the same as an egg laying factory or chickens that they're laying for meat? Both of these prices should both be going up if that was the case. But it seems like it's really only affecting the eggs at a higher percentage than it is the meat that is at the stores that you're buying. It's definitely really hard to do something about that. We don't have a say in this. This isn't something that we can control, other than the fact if we try to make sure that we just don't buy the eggs. That's one of the only things that we have a chance to be able to combat or fight this. We can't just come out and do this whole thing like this is price gouging, like you need to lower the prices. If there is still a bulk of the people, the mass of the people that are paying these prices, they're not affected by it. They're not gonna care to change these prices. They can use this excuse every single time the winter comes or every single time the birds need to migrate. They get to use this excuse of the bird flu to be able to increase the egg prices. And it just allows them this grace period to make more money. Greed is such an evil thing, and it's awful that it gets used this way. It is definitely a sign of what is happening with these prices. So, like I said, how do we combat it? How do we fight this? What is there a way of how we can try to control this? Well, the first thing, which I know not everybody can do, is you can have chickens for yourself. If you have chickens for yourself, then you are able to get eggs that will not make you reliant on going to a grocery store to purchase these things, which as of right now, I think it's about $7 for a dozen here in Michigan. And those are for the cheap eggs. That's not the expensive eggs. I remember being able about 3 years ago, organic pasture-raised eggs were like $5, and that was the expensive eggs. These are for the cheapest ones that you can find at a store are $7 here in Michigan. Just ridiculous. So since I know it's not reasonable to expect everyone to go out and buy some chickens, the next thing that I would say is the best thing you can do is try to find local farmers around your area. Find local people, right? We're not any like a big main local farmer around our area, but our neighbors could want eggs from us or somebody else. Like, be able to try to find these people that maybe have chickens, that are owning chickens, or like I said, a local farm, and listen to them out. You might actually even be getting cheaper prices than you're finding at the store right now. When we're selling our eggs, when we're getting an abundance and we have enough, we're selling them for about $4 a dozen. And that is for pasture-raised chickens that are out here free-ranging and roaming, which if you were to go to a store right now, that's gonna be like $8 to $9 at a store for us for those kind of eggs. And that is a way that you can try to cut down on buying them from the store. Because if we're still buying the prices, if we're still paying, if we're still going in, and it's hard, trust me, I'm not saying this out of a sense of I understand that, hey, this is a really easy thing to do, like, hey, let's just stop buying it from the store. It's a hard thing to say, it's a hard thing to perform on a mass production kind of thing, but if we're gonna pay the prices, they're gonna keep doing it. It's just starting to drive me a little nuts when I keep hearing everyone at work going like, oh, like, how are your chickens doing with the bird flu and how is that? And we have not seemed to ever have that problem. And I think it's because chickens outside, being out like this in the fresh air, even when it's cold, it helps them. It builds an immune system. It makes them a healthier chicken. Where chickens that are in those egg factories and just closed up and no sunlight and no exposure to being outside, they are just going to have a higher percentage of getting any kind of sickness. I think it's just the same kind of method as you would think for a human. And I just hope that there's something that we can do about this, because every winter, every migrating season, it seems to be like the news puts it out as the worst bird flu we've ever seen. Everyone starts freaking out. I really fully believe that this is just an excuse to be able to raise those prices for a few months, to up the greed, up the money that they make. And I think that we need to try to find a best way to try to support locally if we can to help this problem out. Right here we have our Rollaway nesting box from Hengear. If you guys have not seen this, I did want to show you it real quick. The chickens, they go in here, they lay the egg, it rolls down here into this compartment, and it allows the eggs to be cleaner. Although right now you see there is a lot of straw going on because we've filled this for the winter time, but when there's no straw, these things are even cleaner than what they are right now. But this allows there to not be really any chickens eating their own eggs, pooping on them as much, because there is a hard padding in here or a rough padding in here, and this allows your eggs to stay a lot cleaner when they come out. So if you haven't seen this Rollaway nesting box, we do have it in our description always. If you want to buy your own, we have a coupon code that you can use. These have been absolutely amazing, and we have heard just such great things. So many people have used our link to buy these nesting boxes. So if you're looking into a nesting box and you're looking into buying chickens because these prices of eggs are making you think, well, I don't want to do this every single year where I'm going to have to pay extra for another 3 months. Maybe you want to get your own chickens. This is a great starting nesting box. You can have it inside or you can put it where it kind of hangs outside your coop. We have hung it on that back wall over here, but that's where the chickens roost also, so they were pooping too much on top of it. So this has been just a nice spot for it. So this is a Rollaway nesting box from Hengear. I just wanted to shout it out to you guys just in case you haven't really seen it. I haven't shown it in a lot of previous videos lately. So that's just what I think about these egg prices. I know there's been a lot of opinions. There's a lot of people talking about them. It's been all over the news. People, that's the one thing they talk about at the grocery store usually, right? It's egg prices, milk prices. And I don't want to start seeing it happen with a lot of other things. If there's some way that we can control it, I'd be happy to. Because I know, just like you guys, that we don't want to be paying ridiculous prices for no reason for certain things. Speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become, in every respect, the mature body of Him who is the head, that is Christ. Have a great day and a better tomorrow, and we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.